Great to be here with you guys today. Caitlin Clark gets kneed in the groin, punched in the throat. Alyssa Thomas puts all of her body weight on her to stand up after falling to the ground, punching her and kneeing her in the groin. No foul gets called. They play on. Caitlin Clark shoots a three. A player on the Phoenix Mercury gets into her landing space. Caitlin Clark comes down on her foot. No flagrant called. Caitlin Clark comes up, holding her back.
The heavy silence hanging over the arena was finally broken, but it didn't come from anyone speaking. Instead, it was a raw emotion written all over Caitlin Clark's face as she was escorted back to the locker room. A look that communicated everything her public relations team has been desperately trying to sweep under the rug. After enduring a brutal, targeted blow straight to her throat followed by an intentional knee to the groin from Alyssa Thomas, the WNBA's brightest young superstar had officially reached her absolute breaking point. This wasn't just intense, physical basketball out on the hardwood. This was a deliberate psychological war. Yet, the league's top officials watched completely in silence as their absolute golden girl was treated like a human punching bag. And now, the massive internal fallout is threatening to completely burn down the entire Indiana Fever organization from the inside out. This violence didn't take time to simmer. It started incredibly early in the matchup, and it felt deeply personal. Alyssa Thomas wasn't just executing a hard-nosed defensive game plan. She was actively playing dirty. Just picture this for a moment. You fall hard to hardwood, and instead of just getting back up to run the floor, an opponent uses their entire body weight to completely pin a rookie down while driving a fist directly into her throat. That is the exact, unvarnished reality of what happened to Caitlin Clark. And the most shocking part? There was no whistle blown, no flagrant review initiated, and absolutely zero protection offered by the game officials. It was an unmistakable, loud message sent directly from the WNBA's old guard. You are not welcome in our league, and we will physically hurt you just to prove it. All actual basketball skill was completely thrown out the window, replaced by pure, unadulterated, hostile physicality.
With Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White, you ride with Alyssa Thomas. You ride with DeWanna Bonner. You don't ride with the CC22. You wish you did. You want people to think that you do, but you don't. You ride for Alyssa Thomas. You ride for DeWanna Bonner. You don't ride for Caitlin Clark. You don't ride for your team. The only person you might ride for is Kelsey Mitchell. You're disgusting. Number one. The fact that you didn't get a technical today lets us all know you don't have the cojones, the gonads, the heart, the will, the want.
But as bad as that was, the nightmare for the rookie sensation was only just getting started. Merely moments after taking that vicious punch to the throat, Caitlin was right back out on perimeter, fearlessly launching a three-pointer. But as her feet came back down toward the floor, a Phoenix Mercury player deliberately and dangerously stepped right underneath her into her landing space. Caitlin came crashing down hard on top of her foot, causing her entire body to contort in a violent twist that made every single fan sitting in the arena gasp in collective horror. She instantly grabbed for her lower back, the very same back injury that the Indiana Fever coaching staff had been actively lying to the public about for weeks on end. Meanwhile, the referees stood right there on the court with their hands metaphorically in their pockets, completely idle as the most valuable asset in the entire league limped away in visible agony. And where exactly was head coach Stephanie White during all of this absolute carnage? She was standing right there on the sidelines with her arms tightly crossed, honestly looking more interested in checking her own reflection on the big screen than ensuring her star player's physical safety. Fans watching the broadcast immediately picked up on her bizarre, deeply unsettling behavior, the strange twitching, the constant sniffing, and the total, chilling lack of motion as her franchise superstar was being actively dismantled on live television. This is the exact same head coach who boldly claimed to the media that she would ride or die for Caitlin Clark. Yet, when the exact moment arrived to stand up, demand a flagrant review, or intentionally pick up a technical foul to protect her player, she chose to stay completely silent. It felt like a calculated, cold betrayal, leaving Caitlin entirely on her own to fend for herself in a hostile league that genuinely seems to want her gone.
Clark left the game late in the third quarter. The Indiana Fever lost, and to be as transparent as I possibly can, I don't care. To be as transparent as I possibly can, to be as upfront and honest as I possibly can, I don't care. Caitlin Clark's not playing. Nah, whatever. Okay, they lost. So what? Kelsey Mitchell should have carried them to the victory, right, Stephanie? Right? Kelsey Mitchell should have carried you to the victory. The hub should have carried this game. No, you lost Caitlin Clark. You lost the game. Yeah, good for you. What we all care about is Caitlin Clark leaving the game with a back injury.
The dark truth regarding Caitlin's severe injury is finally coming to the surface, and it is a whole lot more sinister than anyone ever imagined. For several weeks now, the higher-ups in the Indiana Fever organization have desperately attempted to conceal the fact that she has been forced to wear a medical back brace just to get through games. They completely downplayed it, calling it simple load management. They even went so far as to fire credentialed beat reporters like Scott Agnes for simply doing their jobs and telling the public the truth. But you simply cannot hide the unnatural way a human being walks when their spine is actively screaming in pain. Caitlin has been out there playing through agonizing levels of physical trauma that would easily sideline the vast majority of seasoned league veterans, all while her very own head coach looks directly into media cameras and insists there is absolutely no injury to speak of. The level of corporate gaslighting happening within this franchise has officially reached a truly disgusting and unprofessional level. It is becoming overwhelmingly obvious that Stephanie White prioritizes her personal relationships with legacy veteran players like Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner far more than she cares about the well-being of her own rookie. Why didn't she completely lose her mind and crash out over that blatant throat punch? Factual reports strongly suggest she is actively protecting her future post-coaching broadcast career and safeguarding her standing within the WNBA's elite inner circle. To Stephanie, Caitlin Clark isn't a human being to protect. She is merely a massive meal ticket, a convenient vehicle to get herself onto a national broadcasting stage and take credit for a wave of historic success that she did absolutely nothing to earn. She is willingly hitching her wagon to a generational star, while simultaneously letting that exact same star get brutally beaten straight into the floorboards.
Right? Kelsey Mitchell should have carried you to the victory. The hub should have carried this game. No, you lost Caitlin Clark. You lost the game. Yeah, good for you. What we all care about is Caitlin Clark leaving the game with a back injury. The same back injury that Stephanie told us wasn't an injury. The same back injury that they tried to hide until they got called out about it. You can see her walking gingerly to the back right there. Now the question is, how does she sustain these injuries? The Indiana Fever update, Caitlin Clark will not leave.
Step inside the team locker room, and reports indicate that the overall atmosphere is actually significantly worse. While Caitlin is isolated in the back training room, receiving urgent medical treatment for what could very well be a season-ending injury, the team's old guard is actively dapping each other up and trading enthusiastic high fives. They genuinely love seeing the overhyped new girl get humbled on the court. They are desperate to keep their exclusive, toxic little clique intact, and they absolutely resent the massive, blinding spotlight that Caitlin's mere presence brings to the sport. It has created an incredibly toxic workplace environment where the veteran players would literally rather lose basketball games than watch a young rookie succeed. In that matchup against the Mercury, the Indiana Fever didn't just lose a game on the stat sheet. They completely surrendered their soul and their organizational integrity in the process. Look at the numbers, and they tell the clear story of an elite competitor who was on the absolute verge of a legendary performance right before the physical hits became too overwhelming to bear. Caitlin was on an absolute heater, pacing straight toward a dominant 30-point game that would have completely silenced every single loud critic across the country. But the second she started heating up on the court, the massive target painted on her back grew exponentially larger. The league officials undeniably seem to operate under a completely different set of rules when it comes to her. When she gets struck, it's dismissed as just a standard part of a physical game. But the moment she dares to complain about the abuse, the media labels her a whining diva. The double standard is so incredibly blatant that even casual viewers are starting to publicly call out the damn corruption running rampant through the officiating crews. And let's talk directly about the corporate management team that completely permitted this disaster to unfold. Kelly Krauskopf, Lynn Dunn, and the rest of the front office executives are sitting completely idle while their billion-dollar franchise asset is being actively destroyed. They need to completely clean house from top to bottom, from the failing coaching staff straight to the medical team that deliberately try to hide the true extent of her injury. Absolutely nobody should be safe from a massive public backlash. The fans are not stupid. They clearly see the medical back brace under her jersey. They see her limping up the court, and they see the total lack of support from her franchise. You cannot continuously kiss the behinds of the league's old guard while your entire future is getting punched squarely in the throat. To make matters worse, the mainstream media coverage surrounding this has been equally shameful. We have prominent media figures like Jemele Hill and Chris Williams who honestly seem happier than a pig in mud watching Caitlin Clark struggle to survive out there. They actively feed off the massive controversy and the deep racial undertones surrounding the league's extreme physicality. They have the nerve to call her a devil and falsely claim she forces the entire WNBA to bend to her personal will. Yet she can't even get a basic common foul called when she is literally being kneed directly in the groin. The sheer hypocrisy of it all is staggering. And it is all part of a much larger, malicious narrative explicitly designed to tear down a young woman who has done absolutely nothing wrong other than play the game of basketball at an elite level. Caitlin's sudden exit from the game late in the third quarter wasn't merely a medical necessity. It was a massive, silent statement. She could no longer justify going out there and risking her entire professional career for a franchise that refused to even stand up for her. The very moment she walked gingerly toward the back tunnel, the entire energy inside the arena completely shifted. The fans in attendance knew right then and there that they were witnessing the definitive end of an era of silence. The injuries are undeniable, the physical pain is entirely real, and the total lack of player protection is a massive, raging scandal that the WNBA can no longer sweep under corporate rug.